Good morning everybody, I hope you're really well. I am not a university professor here, but I wanted to share something with you and share 3 little things that will help you on your marketing strategy. I'm going to make a statement here and some of you will disagree with me, but I think this diagram pretty much sums up how most people plan and execute their marketing. It's a little bit chaotic and it runs all the way everywhere. What I want to share with you is this is a common thing that I see because a lot of marketing strategy and marketing is actually done on the fly. I'm sure you've seen something, you've seen the competitors do something and you've thought we need to do something. Or you've been in a lull and you've decided we have to do something, let's take some action. And to be honest with you, action is really good, but action without a plan can be very expensive, very ineffective, and sometimes without the plan you don't really know how things are coming. So, this is what most people what happens to most people, but actually what we want is to make this line as straight as possible. It will never be a perfect straight line, never, because things change. Things happen, events take over, changes in the world, news, all sorts of stuff happens. How many of us know about marketing campaigns that have been cancelled because of something that's happened in the news, or something happens in the business and you have to change and adjust and shape? That's always going to be. So you're never going to be perfectly a straight line, but the aim for you is to create as straight a line as possible. So how do you do that? You front end all of the planning that you want to do. What are you trying to achieve? Where is the business going to grow from? And don't say customers, because as we all know, there's lots of different customers you can have. And where's that growth coming from? What sectors, what size businesses? Because we all know, the Pareto principle tells us that 80% of our revenue probably comes from 20% of our customers. So test that, because what you really want to do is grow the 20% of the 80%. Think about this, but the 3 things I want to share with you is the reason marketing plans are like this is, number 1, time. So you may not have a lot of time. You may struggle to focus on the marketing because you're doing a million other things. That's perfectly understandable, but actually if you want to build a business for the long term, you have to focus on this. You have to give time to marketing and to planning and to executing a strategy. That's number 1. In that group though, there are people who don't give things time. And I'm not talking about people with time constraints. I'm talking about people who want the quick fix. We've all seen it on the internet. We've seen it on our news feeds. We've seen people offering quick fixes to everything. There is no quick fix in marketing. It's a work, it's process. If somebody says to you they can deliver something amazing in 3 months, it's probably not long lasting. It's probably an instant outcome, but doesn't have any real longevity. If you look at some of the big brands now that are out there, they've spent years working their brand and it pays off and it pays dividends for them for years to come. So nothing great comes quick. Some people will disagree with me and say lead gen and all this kind of stuff, but actually that's not your own marketing. You must own your own marketing. So that's number 1, people who don't have time and people who don't give enough time, because marketing takes time. It's a process, not an event, as I always rant about. The second thing I want to talk about is the consistency. Any plan takes time, but actually you have to repeat it and work it. Sometimes we launch a campaign and we think, why is it not working? Why is it not doing what I want it to do? It's about taking time and being consistent. If you go onto social media and put a post up saying you've got a great offer, you will get limited results. You have to build a community around you. You have to build awareness. The average person needs to see a marketing message maybe 7 times before they can remember it. How many of us have got those really odd jingles in our heads that we can think of greetings cards and insurance companies and all of these different things? I was going to do an impression, but I won't. But we've got these messages in because they've been repeated to us over and over again. They're not something that just comes on and we remember it. It's something that's played. Music, radio. You listen to the radio and you'll hear the similar music being repeated. Why? It's because they want us to have an awareness of that music. They want us to remember that, like it, download it. That's how it works. So repetition and consistency is really critical. So if you're looking at launching a campaign, think about the fact that you might have to send that message to people seven times plus before they actually remember it. And the final one that I want to share, and I could go on and on and on, and I'll bore you, but the final one I want to share about this marketing strategy, how to make it as straight as possible, is internal understanding. Having been in the marketing world for so long, I've got scars from it, I've got insight from it. It is a very difficult world because it's so subjective, there's so many different variables. It's a massive, complicated area. However, what I've seen is a lack and a gap of understanding between people within the organisation, so that the implementation is not clearly understood. What you want to happen and what other people think must happen are different. So to get this really, really straight, you have to spend time making sure that everybody's on the same page, because I could share a plan with you, but you might interpret it completely differently, or completely different. That's just the way it works. We're humans, we interpret things from our own perspective. So if you want to straighten this out, you need to give it time. You need to work a plan over time, set goals, have a clear commitment of time that you're going to put into this and work it. You need to be consistent. Don't keep jumping around. Don't be, as I call it, a magpie where every shiny thing suddenly attracts you. Work what you've got and improve what you've got, step by step by step. No miracle cure. And finally, make sure your whole team are on the same page. And this line, squiggle, will become as straight as possible. It will never be perfectly straight, ever, because human beings are involved and we all interpret and do things differently. But get it as straight as possible. It's the cheapest and most effective way to market. Have a strategy that's clear, that's committed to, and that is easily understood. So that's me with my little professor diagram. I hope this has been helpful. If you want any more help, drop me a line and we can have a chat. Have a great day, and I'll see you really, really soon.